Hey guys. So, over break, I went ahead and got some stuff prepped up. I'm gonna introduce you guys to your new pair of binders. Yay! So I have three binders prepped. And you're gonna see right now the front cover is empty, but I will get the daily schedule put in there before I get these to you tomorrow. But so the front cover is going to have the daily schedule, so that way you guys know what's going on every day, that kind of thing. And I'll change that out as needed as we change things. Back cover doesn't have anything in it on any of your binders. Please leave it that way. Do not put like drawings or your name or anything on the outside whatsoever. The back cover is designed to stay blank, so that way if you guys need to use it as a whiteboard at some point, you can. It's just a very versatile way for you to use the binder. So that way you have less to carry. All right. So I'm going to show you what's in here and then kind of go through my little presentation. So I guess I could stop sharing for right now. Sorry. That makes sense. Sorry. Anyways, so binder, woohoo, yay. In the front of your binder, you're going to have a little pouchy pouch, and it has a bunch of junk in there. So it has expo markers, pens, scissors, glue stick, pencils, and it also has our work system cards. Now I will go and I'm going to make a whole video about the work system cards. Don't worry, but here they are. And then this is another like mini whiteboard thing that you can use if you need to. So, but our work system cards, you have a full set. There's actually two full sets in here. So you have those. Like I said, glue sticks, pencils, scissors, the stuff that you're going to need. Hopefully you don't have to get up and move for all the time. And then the page that I was sharing a minute ago that we're going to go over in just a second, the Parabinder overview. And it just kind of explains basic steps for how to use the binder, but we're going to go through it anyways. And then there's a classroom situation management flow chart for you guys. So if something's happening in the classroom, you guys know how to handle it. I'm going to let you guys look over that. I'll also make a separate video for that to explain it more, but I'm not doing it here. Then we also have our mission statement for our classroom. You guys can look at that. Yay. And then a list of our para expectations. Now this one is just up in the front to make it easy reference for you guys. There is more in the binder in the back. So each day of the week, there is a tab and you guys will have your ELA rotation and your math rotation work that you're going to do with each student. If there's not worksheets in there, it will be a like task analysis, or not analysis, task chart. So it'll explain what you're supposed to do. That way you know exactly what you're leading for that group. But for at least this week, everything is prepped. It's just worksheets for each group. And I will explain in another video how you guys can put those into the work systems to make that how we're doing that from now on. So like I said, every day of the week is broken down, and there is math and ELA for each day. So this would be Thursdays ELA on the front and Thursdays math on the back. And then you'd go to Friday. Now remember, we do ELA and math every single day, even on Fun Food Fridays. So that's why we're prepped Monday through Friday. And then after that, in the notebook, after all of the students' prepped work is in there, you're going to see there's a whole nother set of tabs. And the first one is daily notes. And this is where you're going to take notes on the kiddos, how they're doing, if you noticed anything that they struggled with, something that they did really well, things that were way too easy for them, that kind of thing. Just make notes. They don't have to be books, just like even a rating, like, wow, Nathan did 7.5 today out of 10. Like he was pretty on point, something like that. However you want to do it. I don't want to dictate it because I want it to make sure that it is your input, not mine. Because sometimes you guys see things that I'm not even necessarily thinking about looking for, and I like that input. So keep that up. But it's just notebook paper, just write in there. Leave everything in the binder because I will be going through and prepping them again for the next week. So then that's when I'll pull your notes and that kind of thing. This is also where you'll write down like if a student didn't work on a single worksheet for a day, they had a bad time, that's where you'll document that here. So that way I can make sure that it reflects in their grade and all of that good stuff. Okay. Keeps a little bit less of me having to make mental notes at the end of the day about what everybody did and didn't do. So helps me out. Then there is the next tab is cleaning tasks. So each para binder has its own handy dandy cleaning task, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So what we're going to do is the cleaning tasks you are responsible for are listed in your binder. And I am going to have Nicole be in charge of making sure that everybody has completed their cleaning tasks daily and weekly. So if you missed one because it was a bad day on Tuesday, just making sure that it gets done by Friday. Nicole is going to be in charge of that. So that way I have less I have on my plate. But I'm making sure that all the cleaning and daily tasks are getting completed. So Nicole, congratulations. You just got to be the chore Nazi for adults. Yay, congratulations. Okay. So after the cleaning duties is our SOPs. The first one I put in here, I figured would be really helpful for you guys. And it is my evaluation process. It is what I rate you guys on. And so I decided that would be a really good way for me to help you guys understand what's important to me is to actually put this in the binder. That way you kind of see what I'm looking for. So if you guys want to look at it, you're more than welcome to. It's just in here so you guys can see. I'm not going to lie. I accidentally printed the papers and it printed like half of it is upside down because it printed on the short fold instead of the long fold. Just read upside down or flip the notebook. I'm not going to reprint them. Sorry. I love you guys, but you can read upside down. Okay. So then all of my other SOPs are in here. So PE, inclusion, bathrooming, like morning laundry process, creative arts, every single SOP that I have created so far is in here. So if you have a question on how to manage something, absolutely look through here. Well, guess what? I'm going to make another video that explains every single SOP. And if you are wondering what SOPs are, guess what? It's going to be in the next video. Congratulations. Okay. So, sorry. The coffee is kicking in. Love you guys. All right. Next part of this is going to be the student info. And so I have little blurbs and info for each of the kids. It breaks down most of their goals as well as current performance, behaviors, some strategies that work for each of the kids, that kind of thing. Anything that you guys would need to know about the students is in here. You'll notice that some of them look a little bit different. Some of them are pulled from IEPs that I have not written, and some of them are pulled from the IEPs that I have done. So just read through them the best you can. I know that some of the notes don't make near as much sense as the other. Just do the best you can. I'm trying. There was a lot of info to put in the binder, and so just do your best because that's what I did. Love you bunches. Okay. So then the very last tab, just so that everybody's on the same page, is our paraeducator expectations. So this is a list of the do's and don'ts. This is also the classroom rules and expectations form that I have you guys sign so that I can turn into admin so you guys have documentation that you acknowledge what I expect in the classroom. It goes along with my para evaluation form. So there's nothing in one that's not in the other. Don't be surprised. It's just making sure that you guys know what you need to do. Like I said, this is just to help us all out. But let's go through my screen share now, and we can read what's in the binder on our paper. So, purpose of the binder. This binder is designed to ensure smooth and organized and consistent support for students throughout the week. Each binder will be fully prepped at the start of the week with all activities, materials, and instructions needed for daily rotation. Paras are expected to review the binder in advance and come prepared to run each activity confidently and effectively. So look at it first thing when you see it on Monday. I personally recommend you guys come into the classroom a little bit early on Mondays, check your binder out, figure out what you're supposed to do. But I understand time doesn't always allow for that. So first thing Monday, you need to make sure not only are you taking care of your expected tasks, but also reviewing what you're supposed to be doing for the week. asking those questions early. Do not interrupt me while I'm teaching, and do not stop me right before you're supposed to start an activity and tell me that you don't know what to do. It will not fly. Just a heads up. So you need to look over each daily's outline tasks for all the students. All of this week is prepped with worksheets, but there will be overview sheets for activities that we do that may not be in a worksheet. So everything will be prepped in there with directions, that kind of thing. But make sure that you understand what exactly it is you're supposed to be doing before you do it. And if it's not clear to you, make sure you let me know in an appropriate time. Do not ambush me first thing in the morning, and definitely don't ask me when we're starting that rotation. It should have been done in advance. Now, obviously, if the first thing on Monday is super confusing, I get it. You're going to have to. But guess what? I understand, so I wouldn't logically give you something confusing first thing on Monday. So just know we will work together. It'll be copacetic. Make sure that everything is in there. I am human and I am easily distracted by shiny things. And right now it looks like I have a halo on top of my head or like a light bulb. I have a brilliant idea. It's really tripping me out. So that's all I can really focus on. So yeah. My point being, I may not have got it done right. So go through, make sure everything's in there. If there's questions about it missing, make sure you let me know. Great way to do this is to text me. So that way it's documented. I can go back and look at it and answer when I have time, which is usually after school. But at least if you text me, I can get it prepared and answer that. Okay. So the binder, we talked about what it has. It has the cleaning tasks, the work system cards, the SOPs, all the printed work and materials needed for students, notebook paper, pen, pencil, scissors, glue stick, yada, yada, yada. Lots of good stuff in there. Hopefully it's giving you everything you need essentially to do most tasks with the kids, but obviously you might have to get markers or something. And if you need to put like highlighters in your binder as well, that's fine. I just prepped what I thought of, which highlighters makes a lot of sense. So I might already do that for you. Anyways, okay, so during the rotations, which is what we call our centers or the things that we do with the kids, as we rotations. Make sure that you're prepared, you know what you're doing, you have everything ready. Actively engage with the student the entire duration of their scheduled rotation. Now, obviously, I'm going to make that video about work systems, and that'll make that make more sense. But don't worry, I got you. Just be with the kid. Do your job. Supervise the students consistently and providing guidance per their work system. Here's the big thing that I'm struggling with, and I want to make sure I get this clear. Do not leave at the beginning of a rotation to go to the bathroom. You need to get your group or your student working using their work system. If they need to be independent, using that independent work system. If not, setting it up. But do not leave when we switch and leave someone or students unattended without getting them started. We've got to make sure that we are on top of getting them working before we go and leave. That's very, very important. Do not leave unless the group or the student you are working with is working, okay? It is much easier for you to go to the bathroom that last 5 minutes before we rotate than it is for you to do it at the beginning of that rotation. Do not leave kids to go to the bathroom and leave them with nothing to do. That is very, very, very important. And making sure that if you are taking a bathroom break, like if it's more than like 5 minutes, then we need to make sure that we are scheduling it to where the kids are not getting left unattended. That's very important. Okay, so if a student finishes their assigned task before the rotation ends, you guys need to continue meaningful engagement. So an extension activity, a discussion, reinforcement practice. So this, you can have them do, if they're practicing their alphabet sounds, have them sing the alphabet with sounds instead of letter names, that kind of thing. Each of their individual work systems have goals sheets in them, so you can look and see. There's a column in there that tells you exactly what paras can support helping on each of the students' goals. Focus on those little cards. I'm actually going to grab it. Hold on. Sorry. It was really important. I think this is important to show you guys. And it's a part of the work system video too, but here we go. So like each of the students, I have it listed as their goals, and then it says area of focus. So like reading or echo reading for one of the kids. And then it says how paras can support model reading and expression, prompt only for unknown words or phrasing, track whether he reads independently or with support, use leveled or repetitive text for practice. So it tells you right there how to help support that student with their goal. Like I said, every single one of the students has a goal card in here that you can use to help them focus on those goals. So you can work on that with them they are, if they have extra time at the end of their center before we rotate. There's math, like every single goal that each kid has. So use these as tools as well to work with the kids and set up like extra task boxes, file folders, that kind of thing. Okay. Now, if a student is unavailable, like if we have our service providers come in, that kind of thing, and they take the kid, or they're sick, please make sure that you are having that student still do the work at some point before Friday, or at least on Friday before they start participating in Fun Day. All of their work for ELA and math need to be completed. Science and social studies are not nearly important to me, but for science or for math and ELA, I want that done. So making sure that the kids get their work completed. We don't just skip it because they weren't there. And then also make sure that you're staying busy. Do not just sit around. Don't go talk to another para to have a side conversation, because not only are you not working, but now you're distracting another person from working, and that makes you us mad. So don't make me mad. Okay. When work gets done, the student has completed their work. It needs to be turned into the turn-in tray. Do not set it on my desk and do not hand it to me. I do not have time for that. I am teaching. So just put it in the turn-in tray. That's what it's for. And then if the work is not done, then it needs to remain in the binder. And again, you have until Friday to get it finished with the student, making sure that you are staying on top of that. On Friday, if there's a lot of work in there that is not completed, you need to have a note on each one of them explaining why that work was not completed with that student, and I will look it over. So make sure that you're documenting why, because if we have a lot of things, this is tracking behavior as well. If there's a student that's just absolutely not willing to do math with you, whatever it is, we'll figure it out. Okay. So you can use sticky notes or notebook paper to document notes for each of the students. Keep the comments short and meaningful. So like I said, it could be work that they struggled with, significant successes or breakthroughs, strategies that you used that maybe you've just tried and it was like super successful, or like, oh no, don't do this, it did not work. Okay, communicate. And behavioral notes. So Henry sat under his table the whole time and would not move, that kind of thing. Make sure you're documenting it down so that way I can review it at the end of the week. I put that in as part of their grades, as well as I can track behavior, I can track participation, all of that. Okay, so this is designed to help us be consistent. It helps us focus on the kids and communicate clearly without having those interruptions. And quite frankly, I'll be very honest with you, my mind cannot handle all of the input being verbally relayed to me. So if it's written down, I can take it as needed, when needed, and be successful. And that's what we're looking for, is being successful. So yay. This is just us getting started with the binder. So realistically, they'll probably change a little bit, and that's okay. If there's something in the binder that you want that's not there, or if there's something in there that we're just not using, please document that in the daily notes, so that way I can make sure that we're utilizing what we have and we're not carrying around stuff we don't need. If you still have any confusion, please let me know. I want to make this as clear as possible for everyone. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to be making a lot of training videos. I have another one I'm going to do right after this that explains all of the SOPs, and I'm going to get those posted as well. So, hooray! Yeah, I will talk to you later. Thanks for putting up with me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so that's about it.